learners, welcome once again to another MOOCs lecture of BP 103T. We are dealing with Unit 5. I am Anjali Mishra, Assistant Professor at Noida Institute of Engineering and Technology, Pharmacy Institute, Greater Noida. So, let us start. So, before beginning with the preparation of creams, I will just have a quick review or quick recap of what we have studied in the last lecture. We studied about what is semi-solid dosage form, what are the types of semi-solid dosage form, and how are the preparation methods of these semi-solid dosage form. In the last lecture, we had done a detailed discussion on how ointments are prepared, what are the different packaging that requires ointment. In this lecture, we are going to focus on the characteristics of creams and we are going to study about the different preparation methods of preparation of creams. So, let us start. When we hear this word cream, we understand that it is a sort of semi-solid dosage form and the consistency is quite high as compared to any other semi-solid dosage form, for example, lotion. So, it is said that it is a viscous or it is a semi-solid dosage form. It can be in the liquid state as well, and at the same time if it is formulated, it is present in the semi-solid state as well. However, if I talk about the consistency or the viscosity of creams, it is comparatively lighter as compared to ointment, so, which is mentioned here. Creams formulated when can be of O by W type or sometimes it can be of W by O type as well. So, depending upon the types of vehicle we have chosen, depending upon the API that we have selected, the types may vary. Then it is easier as compared to ointments in order to understand the spreadability. For example, if I say that we are supposed to analyze the spreadability of ointment and creams. Now, creams being less viscous as compared to ointments, the spreadability of creams is often high as compared to ointments, and it is important to understand the spreadability because if the preparation does not spread or cover a larger area, it is not going to give a action on a larger scale. Hence, can I say that ointments are easier to spread as compared to creams. Now, it is easier to remove from skin surface and clothing as well. Ointments are easy to remove or get easily removable from the area where it is applied and at the same time from clothing as well. So, at the same time I am saying that it is easy to apply, and as it is easy to apply, it is easy to get removed as well. Generally, it is used as an emollient. So, major purpose of cream is that it is used for protection purpose and it can be used as an emollient. Emollient is a thing which actually hydrates the skin or hydrates the area into which it is applied and provides soothing effect to that particular area. Now, last, it can be used as a medicated applicant to the skin as well. For example, if we add or if we incorporate an API into the particular base in order to formulate a cream, that particular cream can also function as a medicated cream as well. So, this is all about an introduction to creams. Let us move ahead. Creams, just now I have mentioned, it can be of two types. Some creams that are W by O types are called as oily creams, and the another one that is O by W types are known as aqueous cream. Now, depending upon the presence of internal phase and external phase, the type of creams may vary. If the internal phase is oil and external phase is water, then that type of cream is known as aqueous cream. However, if the internal phase is water and external phase is oil, then such kind of creams are known as oily creams. Creams are always placed in airtight containers. Creams are always placed in airtight containers because there is a high presence of liquid medicament into it. Then if the liquid presence is more, there are chances that there can be a microbial attack on that particular ointment. So, to prevent the microbial attack, creams are always administered in airtight containers only. It can be either plastic or metal collapsible tube. Now, creams can be administered in a metal tubes, it can be administered in a plastic tubes or plastic jars as well. Sometimes using of aluminium metal is prohibited or it is discontinued because aluminium, when we pack creams in aluminium, there is a chance that leaching might occur. Leaching is a phenomena in which the product gets contaminated because of the presence of the metal or material into which it is being packed. So, to prevent contamination of our product and to prevent leaching of aluminium into our product directly, we avoid using aluminium metal tubes. Now, usually depending upon the bulk use of our cream, it is often said that aluminium is prohibited, but at the same time jars are used in order to pack or deliver creams, because if the use of the cream is of bulk use, and if again and again if we want to use that cream, it is not feasible to use metal collapsible tubes. So, for that purpose even plastic jars or metal jars are also supplied in order to pack creams. Now, let us understand the types of creams. First of all, it is in water in oil types of cream, which is majorly hydrophilic cream also, oleogenous cream as well. Another is O by W cream, which I can say it is a hydrophilic cream as well. Then next we have is a cosmetic cream. Cosmetic cream can be used for any other cosmetic function. Cosmetic function here I would like to say here is cosmetic function means anything that imparts or enhances the beauty of any of the surface onto which it is applied. So, if we are using cream for that purposes, then we can say the cream used is a cosmetic cream. Then lastly, the type of cream is a medicated cream. If we have incorporated API into the particular cream, then we can say that the cream that is present is medicated cream. So, this is all about the types of cream. It is water in oil type of cream, oil in water type of cream, cosmetic cream and medicated cream. So, depending upon the usage of the types of cream, the name and the type may vary and differ. Now, let us understand the method of preparation of creams. When I say cream, I mean that we are going to prepare a semi-solid dosage form which is going to have a consistency slightly lower as compared to ointment. As I have discussed earlier, when we are preparing ointment, majorly we have two important methods. The first one was incorporation method and the another one was fusion method. Here we are dealing with creams. So, in the preparation of cream, we have four important methods. The first method is the Tri-Churation method. The second method is the fusion method. The third method is the leviation method, and lastly we have mechanical method, which is the fourth method. We are going to study each and every method in detail. Now, depending upon the method that we are choosing, depending upon this type of area that we have, if we want to produce cream on a lab scale, the method may vary. If we want to produce creams on an industrial scale in a bulk quantity, the method is going to vary. So, depending upon the type of method, depending upon the type of active pharmaceutical ingredient we have, the method is going to vary. So, let us understand the first method of preparation of creams, and that method is known as the Tri-Churation method. So, Tri-Churation is basically a process of mixing. It is a process in which we mix one or more ingredient by application of a particular force or sometimes in a circular motion. So, Tri-Churation method is used whenever we are having medicament in the insoluble state or sometimes in the insoluble powder form as well. When we are having medicaments in the insoluble state, if the medicament is a finely divided insoluble powder form, then the method of choice for the preparation of cream is nothing but the Tri-Churation method. Now, while undergoing Tri-Churation, while doing Tri-Churation, we can either choose geometric dilution method, and because with the help of geometric dilution method, it is very easy and at the same time it is very accurate method in order to mix the substances clearly. Now, here I would like to make everyone understand what is the meaning of geometric dilution. So, in order to understand geometric dilution, I am considering the presence of API and the presence of base, because without base our API cannot be formulated, cannot be incorporated or cannot be supplied to a particular patient. For example, if I have 5 gram API and if I have 100 gram base, and I am supposed to incorporate this 5 gram API into the 100 gram base. For this purpose, I may not directly add this 5 gram base 5 gram API into the 100 gram base, because if I do so, what may happen is inaccuracy may occur. Why? Because the base may actually cause the mixing of API into the particular region only, and the other region may be deprived of API. So, to avoid happening that, what we are doing is we are always choosing geometric dilution method. For that purpose, what we are going to do is we are going to take 5 gram API, and at the same time we are going to take 5 gram base from this entire quantity of base. So, now total we have got, we have 10 gram. Now, this 10 gram is again added with the 10 gram base that is present here. Next thing that we have is 20 gram. This 20 gram is again added with 20 gram base. So, can I say slowly and slowly mixing of API and base occurs. If we do not mix API and base slowly, there are high chances that inaccuracy of dosage form may occur. What is going to happen is, at one point of time or at one place the API is mixed with base, but at the other portion of bases, that particular portion is going to be deprived of API, which is actually going to affect our dosage form. So, whenever we are going to prepare either ointment or paste or creams by Tri-Churation method, by mixing method, it is important for us to understand these mixing are always supposed to be done in geometric dilution only. Now, here while we are mixing, there is a chance that there is a formation of air pocket. Now, air pocket is nothing, it is a small bubble which actually entraps the air while mixing. However, if such air pockets are not eliminated, not discarded, then there is a chance that these air pocket might lead to oxidation of our product, and then it may render our product useless. As a result, while mixing, even by geometric dilution, it is necessary for us to understand to remove this air pocket. If air pockets are not removed, there is a chance that our product might get oxidized, and thus due to oxidation our product has a high chances of getting contaminated and everything is going to go in vain. So, we have to be cautious due for the presence of air pocket. So, while mixing, we have to be cautious that slow and gradual mixing must be done. Now, small quantity addition is encouraged to avoid air entrapment. As I have discussed, the quantities of the medicaments must be mixed in a small quantity in a smaller amount to avoid the presence of air pocket, because presence of air pocket may actually contaminate our product. So, this is all about the Tri-Churation method. Next method that we are going to understand is the leviation method. Now, leviation method is similar to that of the Tri-Churation method. However, this method requires the presence of aqueous phase or watery phase, hence it is also known as wet grinding method. Because what we do here is we incorporate insoluble coarse particle into this. So, when we are incorporating coarse particle as compared to the fine particle which we use to incorporate in Tri-Churation method, the particle size here is definitely higher as compared to other particle. Hence, we have to be extra cautious because we are supposed to make these coarse particle fine by applying stress or by applying shear. So, what we use here is we use the coarser particle, and that coarser particle is insoluble actually, and the method that we are going to use here is the wet grinding method. So, insoluble coarse particle is rubbed with molten base or liquid or semi-solid base. Now, depending upon our choice, what kind of bases we want, what kind of criteria we have in order to make the particular creams. So, depending upon that, we are going to choose our base, and depending upon the base, we are going to add our medicament or the insoluble substances into it. Now, a considerable amount of shearing stress is applied to avoid grittiness by insoluble particle. When we are formulating creams or ointments or any other semi-solid dosage form by leviation method, so basically the major active pharmaceutical ingredient is present in coarser particle range. So, the particle size is high there. So, in order to understand that we have to convert these coarser particle into finer one, what we are doing here is we are actually applying external force or external strain in order to decrease the size of the particle. So, if we want to use levitation method, we are choosing external strain in order to decrease the size of the particle. So, this method is also known as wet grinding method, because we use water in a higher quantity and we apply external strain. Now, the next method is the fusion method that we had just seen in, which is also the same method in the preparation of ointment as well. So, when we are using fusion method, we are it is very easy and it is very important for us to understand the basic step of fusion method. The very first thing that we are going to do is we are going to melt the base. We are going to melt the base. Now the base can be of any choice. It can be hydrocarbon base, it can be oleogenous base, it can be water soluble bases, or it can be water removable bases. Now, depending upon the choice of the base, we have selected a base now. What the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to melt the base. Now, melting of the base is important, because if we do not melt the base, then the incorporation of API often is a challenging task. So, to avoid that challenge, what we do is we melt the base, because usually bases are present in a solid intact stage. So, mixing anything into that solid intact stage is often a task there. As a result, what we do is we melt the base initially. Next thing is we add the suitable API if we are supposed to make a medicated creams. If we are in a mode in order to manufacture medicated creams, then type of medicated creams or the type of medication is going to differ as per our requirement. So, the API is also going to differ as per our requirement. Next thing is that we have added API. Now, after the addition of API, if we are interested in adding any sort of color, any sort of preservative, buffer, antioxidant, then we can add at this stage only. Then after the addition of all the things, what we do is we rapid congeal this product. Now, what is congealing? Congealing is nothing but it is a quick freezing, quick cooling of the product. We do this in order to avoid the contamination of our product. So, rapid congealing has to be done quickly. However, if our API is heat sensitive, if it is heat sensitive, to be more appropriate, heat sensitive means it is a phenomena which is oftenly correlated with this term known as thermolabile. If our API or if any of the excipients are thermolabile, then we are not supposed to add the API or any of the excipients at this stage. Because if we add any of the excipients that are thermolabile at this stage, that may cause us decomposition of that product, or that may cause decrease in the efficacy of that particular substance. Hence, in order to maintain the efficacy and potency of a API or any of the excipients, we do not add the substances during the hot stage only, because that actually decreases the efficacy of the product. So, we have to be cautious. If our product, if any of the excipient is thermolabile, we are not supposed to add at this stage, because up till here our product is in hot stage only, because we have melted our base. So, if the base is present in the molten state, it means the temperature is quite high. Hence, now we have added our API, we have added our base. Next thing is nothing but the rapid congealing method. We have rapidly cooling. So, the base here, what I have just now made you all understand, the same thing is written here only. So, I am reading here. This method is applied when drugs and other solid medicaments are soluble in ointment base. So, this thing is to be kept in mind. Whenever the base or the medicament is soluble, then only we go for this method. This base is liquefied, unsoluble components are dissolved in molten base. Just now I have said that the base or the molten or the base is liquefied and it is converted into melted mass, and at this time only we are going to add our API or any of the excipients. This congealed mixture is then speculated or triturated finely to obtain a very smooth paste. After melting the base, after the pouring of the API into the molten bases, what we are doing is we are actually triturating in order to form that particular thing, a smooth and non-gritty texture substances. So, we are actually applying some sort of trituration or some sort of stress is applied to that. Now, care is taken to avoid thermal degradation of products. So, thermolabile products are actually avoided to be added at that stage only. Just now I have said, if the products are thermolabile in nature, we are not supposed to add these products on initial stage only, because that may cause degradation of our products. Now, moving on to the next method of preparation of cream, and that method is the mechanical addition. Now, mechanical addition is as the name implies. Mechanical addition means we are adding anything externally or mechanically. So, that method is termed as mechanical addition method. Here, water removable creams are basically hydrophilic type of emulsion. The creams are formulated by this method are majorly water removable sort of creams, because the base that we are going to use here is water removable type. Next method is that a hydrophilic emulsifying agent is included in aqueous phase in order to obtain a suitable oil type of dispersion. So, depending upon choice, if we are going to formulate O by W type of emulsion, the choice of base is going to be different. It is going to hydrophilic type of bases. If the formulation is W by O type of thing, then definitely the base is going to differ, and it is going to be oleogenous bases. Then, for example, is SLS, it is used in the preparation of hydrophilic ointment, because whenever we are going to prepare emulsion, suitable emulsifying agent is being added in order to make our preparation stable. So, if we are doing mechanical addition method of preparation of creams, we are going to use SLS for the preparation of creams. Now, depending upon the usage, now what are the different types of usage, our creams or the name of the creams might differ. If the cream is used for cleansing purpose, it is basically used when we are going for a parlor session or for any of the cleansing purposes for facial. We are using cleansing cream before doing or before proceeding for any of the session. For that purpose, if we are using any type of cream, that is known as cleansing cream. For example, during cold days, when the lack of moisture makes our skin very dry and hazy, then at that time the creams that actually prevents or entraps the moisture into our skin and prevents the escape of moisture from our skin or the mucous membrane, the type of cream that we are using is the cold cream. And during summer seasons, when we just do not want any sort of sunburn or any sort of sun activity, then at that time we are using the cream that is known as vanishing creams. Now, vanishing creams majorly are O by W type, because if it is water content is higher, it is going to solubilize in our hand. Then foundation cream is the cream that is basically used by during makeup, which is actually helps to create a proper smooth foundation on your skin. Next cream is a night and massage cream, which is used during night cream just to make our skin look smooth, soft and full of life. So, that cream is known as night and massage cream. Lastly, we have hand and body cream, the creams that are specifically used for hand or for body, that is oftenly termed as hand cream or body cream. So, this slide covers the different types of creams depending upon the utility of the creams. If we are going to use a cream in winter season, it is termed as cold cream. If we are going to use a vanishing cream, then or if we want to vanish the product as soon as we apply it, we go for vanishing cream. If we are applying the cream in order to create a smooth texture in order to perform a makeup on a particular skin, we may choose foundation cream. So, depending upon the utility, the type of creams may vary. Now, here we have different types of bases. Now, as I discussed already, the types of bases can be oleogenous bases, for example, white petrolatum, anhydrasous bases, for example, lanolene, water soluble, water in oil sort of bases, for example, hydrous lanolene. Then we have another bases known as water soluble bases, the example PEG, that is polyethylene glycol. Eventually, we have water removable bases, example hydrophilic ointment. Now, the types of bases are going to differ depending upon the utility, depending upon the choice of API. If we have an API that is actually soluble in base and if the base is water loving, then it is obviously we are going to use water soluble bases. If the API is a fat soluble basis, then we are going to go for oleogenous bases. So, depending upon our utility, the types of bases or the choice of bases may vary. Then lastly, now we have prepared ointment, we have understood the types of bases, we have understood the type of method of preparation of creams. We are going to understand how these creams are manufactured and eventually packed. So, usually creams are packed in a container known as wide mouth containers, because whenever we are actually supplying or filling creams in wide mouth containers, the removable or the removing capacity of the cream enhances to a greater extent. Sometimes collapsible tubes also are used. Now, using of collapsible tubes may depend upon the utility. If the utility is quick, if the utility is fast, or if you are oftenly using that cream, then for that purpose collapsible tubes are used. Now, they can either be made from plastic or from metal tubes. Usually metal tubes are avoided in order to prevent leaching or contamination of our product. Now, labeling, here this thing plays a very important role, because labeling must include this two important label instruction. The very first is it should be kept in a cool dry place away from light, and the another important labeling instruction is it should be stored in an airtight container. Now, these two labeling instructions are important because we want our cream to remain intact throughout its entire shelf life. For that purpose, important labeling instruction must be presented on that cream. So, this was all about the formulation of creams, the preparation of creams and different methods, and eventually the packaging of cream. I hope this lecture was very informative for all of you. So, thank you so much.